Browne here, and today I'm going to be showing you how I clean my guitar and change the strings. The guitar I'm going to be doing this with is my Mianez DeVille Cat C Elite model in a Dinya burst. We're not going to need to set up the guitar today because I'm going to be using the same strings that it was set up with, and that is a set of 10 to 59 Diodario nickel wound. My favourite strings. I'm going to be cleaning my fretboard and conditioning it with lemon oil, as I've not done it for quite a long time. For this I'm going to be using the Dunlop 01 fingerboard cleaner, which will get off all the dirt and grime. To condition it, I'm going to be using the Ultimate Lemon Oil by Dunlop. And then to clean my guitar body, I'm going to be using cream of something. I don't even want to pronounce that word because I can't speak properly. Cream of Carnauba, I think it's pronounced. Which is good for satin and matte finishes on guitar bodies. So yeah, without further ado, let's get started. So first things first, I'm going to take the strings off the guitar and get set up and ready to condition the fretboard. As you can see here, I've got a makeshift guitar stand here where I'm using a t-shirt rolled up to hold the neck so that the headstock isn't resting on my desk. And then I have my mouse mat, which I'm using as a mat to protect my guitar from the wood of the desk. To remove the strings, I'm going to be using this string winder that's made by Diodario. It's also a set of wire cutters as well. It's very, very cool. So first things first, I'm going to take off the strings. So this guitar has a set of hip shot locking tuners which make it very, very easy for string changes. I'm just loosening these strings a little bit, and then I'm going to unlock the strings at the headstock as well and take them all out at once. Normally I would take my strings off one at a time, but as I'm going to be conditioning the fretboard, I'm going to take them all off at once to make the process a bit easier. Just loosening the hip shot tuners now. Just to keep the old strings into one place, as they can flop about everywhere, I just kind of tie them in a knot like so. Just keep them there. Now first things first, I'm just going to wipe off any excess dust on this guitar. So now the excess dust is wiped off my guitar, I'm going to apply my cleaner and prep, my fingerboard cleaner and prep, which I'm going to spray on. Now I'm going to use a little bit of tissue just to wipe it in. Kitchen roll I find is better for this, or a microfiber cloth, but I've done it with tissue since forever just because it's normally the only thing I remember when I'm on tour. I always forget to bring a microfiber cloth. As you can see, the tissue does leave a little bit of itself on the fingerboard sometimes. That is all into my fretboard now, and it already looks 10,000 times cleaner. Hasn't got bits of me on it. So now I'm going to wipe it off. Like so. Right, my fretboard is completely clean now. As you can see, it has actually dried it out a little bit, which is where the lemon oil comes in now. So now we're going to apply this lemon oil. And that will hopefully get the ebony to its nice dark finish again. So I'm just going to apply a little bit to every single fret. I do not do this every single time I change strings. With this lemon oil, you'll find that it softens up your fingerboard, and if you do it too often, then it can cause problems with your frets popping out. So I tend to do this maybe 2 2 to 4 times per year at most, depending on the condition of the fretboard. So I've applied this lemon oil to the entire neck, and now what I'm going to do is leave it for 5 or so minutes, basically just so that the conditioner can be soaked in by the ebony, and then I'll wipe off any excess afterwards. So my lemon oil has been soaking for between 5 and 10 minutes now. Now I'm going to wipe any of the excess off. It's definitely better to use a microfiber cloth for this, but as I said, when I go on tour I always seem to forget one, so I end up using tissue anyway. After you've done this, if you find that your frets look a little bit dull, you can always polish them up with a little bit of wire wool. Mine actually don't look too bad, so I'm not going to do that today. Still quite a little bit of excess on here. We want to make sure it's completely off. And there is my fretboard, completely conditioned. It feels really, really smooth on my hands. There's a little bit of excess still, but nothing to be problematic about. You can leave lemon oil for longer if you want, especially if your fingerboard is very dry. So now I'm going to be cleaning my guitar body, and I'm going to be using the cream of Canuba oil, which is by Jim Dunlop, which you can see here. It's good for satin and matte finishes on guitars, so we're going to be using that as my body has a matte finish, and I'm going to be using a microfiber cloth. Should get rid of any surface scratches as well, as long as you polish it well. Obviously won't get rid of dents, but it'll definitely make the guitar look quite a bit shinier. It's also bringing out that lovely quilt top as well. If you want to clean out any excess dirt and grime between the pickups or the bridge, then I recommend using a toothbrush to get that out. You can see where I've cleaned on this guitar body. Over here and here, it looks like it's been cleaned very well, but over here I haven't quite got round to this yet. You can really see a difference. Obviously, if you want to go really in depth, you could take your the tone and volume knobs off and get all around on the inside of that. We want to make sure this is rubbed in really well, so you want to do more polishing than you think you would, just to make sure that this cream has been given a chance to work its magic of getting rid of all the surface scratches or dirt. You want to keep moving to drier places on your microfiber cloth, which is why I have such a big cloth. It gives it a slight polished, sort of glossy shine to it, but it doesn't last for very long. It's just protecting it from stains and other bodily fluids that you will excrete on stage or every single day, you know. Right, so that's the back side done. Nice, clean and shiny. I'm going to turn it back over. As you can see, a couple of my saddles have fallen out from my bridge, which, even though I love this bridge, it is a slight issue that that these fall out, especially on tour and you're not careful. I think we're ready now to apply our new set of strings. So now my guitar is completely clean. I've conditioned the fretboard. I'm going to put my new set of strings on. Diodario are definitely my favourite strings. They seem to just last longest. I don't know. The longevity of these strings is really good. The good thing about the Dario as well is they all come color coded in sets of twos. So, you know, purple and silver is your high two strings. You know, then you have green and black, which is the next two. Red and brass, the next two, and then the 7th string one is kind of like an off brass color as well. So I'm just going to start by putting in the lowest string first. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to thread these through one at a time and get all the strings through the bridge first. When you're changing strings, I recommend that you do it one at a time if you're not going to be doing any of this cleaning, just to make sure that your neck stays completely where it was. It shouldn't make that much difference, but it depends whereabouts in the world you are as well. If you're in a particularly hot climate, then definitely change them one at a time. Now my strings are popped through. I'm going to lock them all with my locking machine heads. Now, I would do this in a different way if I didn't have locking machine heads. Having the locking machine heads makes this process so much easier. Right, so now I've threaded my strings through my bridge, and now I'm going to thread them through my headstock. So I have these hip shot locking tuners that basically I can just pull the string completely tight all the way through, and then I'll lock the string at the back using these little thumb screws. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm just going to pull each and every single one of them through. All my 7 strings are now through the machine heads. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to clip each and every single one of them with these wire cutters. And I'm going to clip as close to the machine heads as possible. There we go. Now all I need to do is tune the guitar. So I'm just going to roughly tighten all the strings just a little bit. I'm going to start stretching in the strings. So this is just something I do with it. I just go through like this, lifting up the string with my hand, just stretching out the strings, like so. So I'm just going to pick a note on a guitar that I have here that I know that's in tune. What'd you know? I got it in. Stretch out the strings just a little bit more. And then my guitar will be ready to play. Obviously I'll put this through a tuner to make sure that it's 100% in tune before I actually record or do anything with it. Thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe to my channel and I'll be showing you some more videos on what to do with your guitar in future. I just asked myself, why the hell haven't I done this more often?